Sam Dehne, the encyclopedia of the Decoder Ring. And by the way, if you're looking for somebody to oversee public safety, Sam Dehne volunteers right now, and he will do it for half of whatever salary you're offering out there, because Sam Dehne is a true philanthropist and humanitarian. Everything that Sam Dehne does, he does for the community for no money. People have offered to pay him money. He refuses to take any money. So Sam Dehne, if you're going to have a overseer of public safety, fire department, police department, it should be Sam Dehne. Sam Dehne is an Air Force Academy graduate. And most people would say that Sam Dehne has a background that is far different from any backgrounds on that podium, on that dais up there. Some would even say far more erudite than anybody on that dais up there, except Mr. Hashef. He's got some really good credentials, and maybe a few others. Anyway, Sam marches to a different drum than most of you. Sam is an Air Force Academy graduate. He spent many years flying fighters and bombers, and he swore to an oath to obey the United States Constitution and to do what is right for America. He's seen enemies inside of the border and outside of the border, and he's found that many of them are inside of the border. Which leads me into the next situation about the Decoder Ring. The Decoder Ring. Earlier this week, when I was at the joint meeting describing what happened to Sam when the police pulled him over and pointed their guns at him, blaming him, charging him with stealing his own car on his way to a city council meeting, right in front of the city council building, pointing their guns right at Sam, not telling him what's going on. Very trepidatious. I think I'm as brave as anybody, very trepidatious. But then I heard the mayor. The mayor during the meeting, he broke in and said, Sam, did you get the message? I said, what? He said, did you get the message? You know what? I didn't get the message. And you know who did not get the message, really? It was the police department did not get the message. It turns out they were told to escort Sam to the meeting with all of those policemen. They forgot to wear their decoder rings. They forgot to wear their decoder rings. There it is. Sam's got his decoder rings. You better start making sure the policemen have their decoder rings with them when they go to escort Sam so they don't get mixed up. Now I understand what Mr. Mayor meant about, did you get the message? You know, the worst part of this whole situation about the police pulling Sam over for supposedly stealing his own car and brandishing their guns in his face, the worst part is it's been a distraction for Sam. It's been a distraction from Sam's regular watchdogging duties. As a matter of fact, it turns out Sam missed some sort of a lavish trip that was offered to some people to go over to Israel and places like that. And Sam didn't get to go because he was distracted from things. Mr. Farahi has offered Sam many trips, one way, of course, offered many trips to Sam Dehne, and Sam Dehne apparently missed a nice trip to Israel.